Hello everybody and welcome back to Screen Stars. I'm doing another classic movie review today, and it is the 2001 thriller stroke horror movie Frailty, which was directed by Bill Paxton and starring Bill Paxton. Now, ever since the unfortunate passing of the great Bill Paxton a couple of months ago, I've wanted to do a review to kind of do like a tribute to him, because he's one of my favourite character actors. And when you actually look at his filmography, so many of his movies, he appeared in so many of my favourite movies. He's been a big part of my movie history growing up, and I think he's a great actor. And then, unfortunately, the recent passing, just yesterday or the day before, I believe, Powers Boothe has unfortunately passed along as well. And he's another one of those great character actors who has been in so many of my favourite movies like Tombstone, Sin City, and Rapid Fire or Brandon Lee. He's done loads and loads of stuff, Powers Boothe. And he's another one of those actors that I really respect. So I thought the one movie that would respect both of them is Frailty, because they're both in it. And this movie is such a good movie, I think it respects the memory of both these great actors, so therefore that's why I'm doing the classic movie review for this film, Frailty. Now, this film, when I first saw it, I didn't know anything about it really. And I kind of stumbled across it. Someone recommended it to me, I believe, and I remember watching it, and it just absolutely superb movie. It blew me away. Such a great movie, and not what I expected at all. So for those of you who don't know, the movie Frailty starts with Matthew McConaughey basically turns up at the FBI headquarters. And there's this serial killer out there called a God's Hand Killer, and he walks into these FBI officers and he asks to speak to the senior in charge of the case, which is Powers Boothe. And he basically says to him, he says, "I know who the God Hand Killer is." And Powers Boothe, the FBI guy, says, "Right, who? Tell me." And he goes on to tell Powers Boothe his life story from when he was a child. So then you go back into the past, and you've got Bill Paxton and his two sons, as you can see there in the picture. They're living a normal life. The mother died giving birth to the youngest boy. The dad works hard as a mechanic. The boys kind of look after themselves, and they've got quite a sweet existence. And then out of the blue, completely out of the blue, and it took me by surprise as I watched it, the dad gets a vision from God one night, and he's absolutely convinced, and God tells him that his family has been chosen and there are demons in the world. The apocalypse has started, and their job now is to destroy these demons, and God will send him the weapons that he needs to kill the demons, and he will send him a list of names of who the demons are, and that he has to kill them. And when he lays his hand on them, they will be revealed for the evil that they have done. And he absolutely knows this to be true, Bill Paxton. But the youngest son completely is taken by it all, and he's with his dad because he's young and impressionable. But the oldest son thinks his dad's lost his mind. But his dad starts going through with it, and he starts taking out what he thinks are demons, and the older son is more and more horrified by it all. And this ties in again into the future with Matthew McConaughey. He's one of the sons grown up telling the story, and he's saying that the serial killer is explaining who he believes the serial killer is. And the FBI guy starts believing him because the story is so convincing. And that's kind of all I'm going to go with the story, because if you've never seen Frailty, it will really take your breath away with the way this story is told and developed and twisted at the end. It's got a lovely twist. But needless to say, I can't recommend this movie highly enough. Like I say, it was directed by Bill Paxton, and I'm not sure if it's the first film he directed, but even if it isn't, it's masterstroke. It's superbly directed, and he's acting in it. I think arguably um, one of his best acting roles. He plays it so subtly, this father role, but also a guy who's so convinced about, like I say, this religious thing that's going on in his life, these messages he's getting from God, and he plays it perfectly. Matthew McConaughey is in the movie. He's great. He plays quite a subtle role initially, and it develops and it develops, and it doesn't turn out the way you expect. Powers Boothe is great. He as the FBI guy, he plays a role he's done many times, and he's always been quite subtle in his performance, Powers Boothe, but he's also got that energy underneath, bubbling away of explosive energy and explosive acting that you do see on occasion in this movie. So that's basically the story here, Frailty. A really good thriller stroke horror that is crafted superbly, paced perfectly, shot beautifully, and it's one of those movies that you will watch and come away and just think, why have I never watched this before? Because I certainly did. It came out in 2001, and I probably saw this for the first time in about 2009, probably. And it's one of those that you kind of go back to at least once a year, Frailty. And I think this is such a fitting tribute to both Bill Paxton and Powers Boothe, because it's, for me, one of their standout movies. And it's strange when I look at a list of movies when Bill Paxton passed and when Powers Boothe passed, and you see like the obituaries and they start listing the movies. In both of theirs, I never saw Frailty, which I don't understand really, but it really is a magnificent movie.